Hey guys, Kev here, and I have a new Ferramonster to show you. This is the Falcon. Falcon. It's an M390. It is titanium with a Nebula fat carbon inlay, which is pretty cool. This is a cool looking knife. I've had it on my desk here a little bit, so I feel bad, but I'm excited to check it out. So let us do it. This one has thumb studs and speed holes. There you go. Look at that. Really slick looking knife. Ferramonster really just has a clean just way of making. I mean, I really like their setup, their aesthetic. They just are simple, but in a good way, if that makes sense. I really like the inlay. Wow, that inlay is literally dead nuts. I mean, you cannot feel a transition. Holy shit, that's good. I mean, this is Riot levels, if that helps you in terms of description on it. I mean, you can feel the pivot is a little raised, but barely. The inlay is absolutely perfect. So that means that somebody spent a shit ton of time putting this inlay together. You can't just measure, you can't just have CNC measurements or whatever, CAD measurements, mill the inlay and the scale and put it together and it's just going to magically be perfectly flush. There's always going to be those little tolerances, clearances, right? Whatever. Somebody has to, by hand, sand down the inlay, probably from the bottom, I would guess, once they finish it or something. I don't know how they do that. I'm guessing they don't install it and then do it because you'd be worried about messing up the titanium, unless maybe then you blast the titanium after. But anyway, point is that takes time. You gotta fit it in, take it back out, sand it down, or refinish the titanium, put it back together, get it all right, glue it in. Just a lot of work that's done by hand in a lot of cases. And then you have a beautiful belt satin, which is also usually a hand, I mean, it's literally in the word belt satin. Somebody's holding this on a belt to get that beautiful satin look. So just to give you a little bit of insight there. Sorry, my kid is yelling, ow. Hang on a second. Okay. You know the classic where you're, if you have kids, you know, they just go, ow, ow. Ow. They keep doing it until somebody shows up. She was fine. Anyway, this is awesome. Detent is money. Check that, how late or early the detent is in a second. Yeah, that detent is crisp, dude. Nice flipper tab, good jimping. So, I mean, it could be no, it's pretty aggressive. Yeah, it's pretty aggressive, actually. It's just got a little bit of a curve to it. So when I put my finger like this, I'm not feeling the full jimping. I'm just catching that last one. And that's enough. I mean, that's enough to catch my finger every time, as you can see. But if you put your finger in like this, you really feel that jimping. I mean, it is definitely catching your finger. So you can definitely push button it like that and light switch it like this. You have thumb studs there, so good reverse flick as well. Thumb flick, I always struggle with this right-handed because my finger's all over the lock bar. It is a frame lock. So there it is. You can thumb flick it. See, left-handed, I'll have no issue at all. It's just right-handed. Because I'm left-handed, I think, I tend to rest my finger right on that lock bar, and it's hard for me not to do that. It just doesn't feel natural, where most of you who are right-handed, you don't have that issue because you have done it for so long. You kind of know where to put your thumb. I'm feeling something that's a little loose. So I'm going to figure that out. So I do have the tiniest bit of pivot lash. Pivot lash is where you have the barrel of the pivot, right? So the pivot goes through the handle and it has a steel barrel. And then the blade obviously goes onto that. The washers, the bearings, whatever, they all go onto that, right? If the hole in the blade is a little bit bigger than the pivot, obviously it has to be slightly bigger to fit, but if it's slightly bigger than it needs to be, you actually get what's called pivot lash, where you can move the blade in and out a little bit on that barrel, if that makes sense. It's not really a defect. It really isn't a QC issue either, as long as it's not causing any issues with lockup. It's not causing any detent lash or anything. Detent lash, we do not have any here. I thought we did, but we don't. Detent lash is where the detent hole on the blade. So let's see if it, nice. They keep it hidden the whole way through on this one. I think I have a, I think the Mad Dog has a little bit showing. Yeah, so the detent hole, let me find a satin one. The Growler have it. You can kind of see the detent hole, the top of it. So you guys probably, I mean, if you're new to knives, it might be something you don't know. So that's why I'm just trying to explain. So the way a detent works is there's a ceramic ball that is on the lock bar. I'll show you here. So hopefully you can see that ball in there. I'm trying to, there we go. See that ball right in there? You can kind of see the top of it. Focus. It's a ceramic ball. So that is pressed, usually press fit into the lock bar, or in this case, it is press fit into a steel insert, which is just a steel piece that is cut to fit into the lock bar and then held in by this screw here. Because this bar is titanium, and if you have titanium on steel, it will have lock stick. Unless you carbonize it, it's a whole thing. But steel inserts are the most common these days. In this case, you have a liner lock. So this liner is made of steel, so you don't need the insert. So it can be thinner, right? That kind of stuff. So anyway, there's a hole in the blade that receives that ceramic ball. And then the depth of that hole, the size of the ceramic ball, how far that ball goes into the lock bar, and how much pressure, right? How much spring pressure is on that lock bar. All of those things combined is what gives you the detent feeling. So if you have a ton of pressure on that lock bar, but your detent ball barely goes into the blade, you can have like a really weird feeling knife because it's like easy to pop it out, but it's super hard to close because that lock bar is really pressing on it. Anyway, detent lash is when the hole in the blade for the detent ball is bigger, a lot bigger than the detent ball. So that ball sits in there and then it can move around. So then your blade can go in and out while it's closed, if that makes sense. So that's what I was checking for because I thought I felt something, but I think what I was feeling was just that little bit of pivot lash. You can even hear it. Again, not really a QC issue, just a kind of one of those like nuisances or nitpicks that certain people would have, like me, because I'm a nut. But yeah, it feels good overall, actually. So that was the bottom line is it's well done. So the detent, I want to look how late it is. So if you look here, when I talk about the detent being early or late, what I'm talking about is how far, once you disengage the lock, right? So the lock bar locks up to the lock face, which is this flat area on the blade, right? You can see there's some shit on there. Let me clean that up. That's where the lock bar locks up. That's the lock face, or the blade tang, whatever you want to call it. And then the lock face is the flat part on the actual lock bar, whatever. But those two areas meet up, right? Once you disengage that, you want to see how far does this blade travel before the detent ball in the frame lock hits that part, that flat part of the blade. See where it runs into that? Unless I push the lock bar super far out and then it just it goes right past that detent ball. But if you just kind of do this and disengage it, you're going to get stuck on that ball and then you get what's called a double clutch, where you go to shake it down and you go whoop, and you shake it up and it locks back up and you go shit. That's called a double clutch. So this knife, when you close it, it hits that detent ball right here. So here's that angle. It's not super late and it's not early. It's like medium. It's pretty average. I haven't checked it on the Mad Dog. This is a prototype of ours. Ours are usually really early because it's something we care about. So just to show you the angle, here's the angle on the Mad Dog. So again, that angle is much steeper on this knife versus this knife. You can see the travel. It comes off of that lock bar and it hits that detent ball almost immediately. It's like right there. That's that little bit of travel that it needs to go to hit that. Okay. On this one, you got a little bit more. Hold on, let me get it. Oh yeah, I thought I went past it. You have a little bit more there that you have to work past. So it's not bad though, because the lock bar is easy to move, and for me, you just push it and it drops right out of the way. Usually that's more of an issue as a lefty, because what happens is we disengage the knife and then we get caught on that detent ball, because we have to disengage it, then turn our grip and shake it down. So if you get stuck on that, then you double clutch it. So what you have to do as a lefty is just get used to your knife, that specific knife. But in this case, you just go like this and then nice smooth shake down. And for me, my natural kind of closing motion, I'm clearing that detent. So to me, that means this is set up really well, actually. So no complaints there. Sorry, I'm just going on this detailed ramble of things, but this is kind of what I do when I get a knife. You can see I kind of get stuck on it sometimes when I'm messing around with it right-handed there. But I think if you were fidgeting with it, like if this was the knife you were carrying every day for a little bit, you would easily get comfortable with this. You know, not having any issues when it comes to that. So backspacer looks nice, got some pattern in there, a little bit of jimping, nice lanyard hole. You got the speed holes. I'm not a big speed hole guy, but I gotta tell you, this knife is sexy. I really like the look of this knife. It's got a drop point, clip point. It's kind of a clip point to me. Some might just call it a drop point though. It's got a little bit of a poon worked in, which I like. Just a clean knife, man. It's a good size. Probably going to be around 3.6. Where's my tall boy? Tall boy is 3.5, 3.6. Yeah. And we're about exactly the same size. So, in my opinion, the sweet spot for an EDC knife when it comes to trying to hit the right market of people, that's going to be the size that most people are going to be fine with. Whether they like a smaller knife or they like a larger knife, they're still going to be like, oh, okay, it's 3.5 inches. That's fine, right? Whereas if it's a 3-inch knife, you might have a few, you'll have a bunch of people who are like, it's too small. And if you have a 4-inch knife, you're going to have a bunch of people, it's too big. 3.5, that works. Or they'll be like, yeah, it's perfect. So nice and fidgety. Nice blasted titanium. You have real fat carbon. That's an important note here, guys. They are using true fat carbon. They're not getting the fake Chinese fat carbon that looks like shit. This is, as far as I can tell, legit fat carbon. And they do list that on their website, so I believe that is true. I like the look of the Nebula, red, white, and blue. America, baby. The belt satin is a really nice touch. I feel like a lot of companies would do a machine satin. So, yeah, they're doing a great job here. The thumb studs are super grippy. They have good traction. Not having any issues with those. They do a great job with jimping. Nice acoustics on the close. Oops. Great action as well. You can see it's just swinging down. We'll check if it's tight. Yeah, no play, no rock at all. Just and it's just swinging down, man. So yeah, my only nitpick on the knife really is the that tiny bit of pivot lash, which again is 90% of you guys will not give a shit about that. You won't even notice. And of the 10% of people who maybe give a shit, 90% of those people are going to put skiffs in this anyway, and that's probably going to fix the issue. A lot of times skiffs will just fix it because the skiffs surround the blade, and it, you know, once you tighten it down, it just seems to help a lot. So, you know, there might be like one guy who gets this knife and is bothered by that, and I'm probably that guy. It's funny. What else? I think that pretty much covers it, guys. I like the look of the pivot. The price point, it's 250 bones, I think. $254. It comes in a few versions. I'll put a link down below to their website. You can use my code, which I think is Lefty10. It could be LeftyEDC, again, in the description, or just try both. And that'll save you 10%. So you get a decent chunk off. They have the version here, $254. They have this version with blue, looks like dark matter blue. I don't know if that is fat carbon. Yeah, it says fat carbon. So it might be dark matter blue. Then they have this lava flow or Mars Valley. I'm not sure which one, with black. I don't think it's DLC. It's probably PVD. Let's see. Do they list that? No. 60 to 62 on the M390 is good as well. They're putting 3.46 for the blade length. That's probably the one I'd go for if I was picking one to buy. They sent this in, so always keep that in mind. But yeah, if I was picking one up, I would go with that Mars Valley or Lava Flow one. And then they have a Toxic, it looks like, Toxic Fat Carbon with the green and the yellow. That also looks really good with the black handle and then the satin blade. I'm a big fan of that. I like that contrast with the black and then the fat carbon and then the belt satin. That always looks good to me. But this looks great too. Pocket clip. Let's take a look at that. Good retention. We do have these 3 relief cuts here, so we're going to see how that fits. Oh. So it goes in and out of pocket easily. The retention is good. These relief cuts do shred a little bit of your pocket, though. They are catching. You could probably hear it. I'll put my mic up to it. Let me do this. Just give me a sec. I'm going to drop this magnet part. All right. So if I put my mic right next to my pocket when I do it, you can hear it. Actually, okay, so now it's not getting caught at all. So, I don't know what I was doing there at first. So it seems like they're fine. So maybe I was putting it in a weird way. But yeah, there you go. That's the Falcon from Ferramonster. Great job. Let me know if you guys have any questions down in the comments. Let me know what you think of it. I'm a big fan. And again, use that link, use those codes, helps the channel. And I love you guys, man. I hope you have a fantastic day. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace.